What's up, awesome Libra gang? Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. That's me. My name's Annie. Happy to have you all here. I'm back. I took a little hiatus, so for all my loyal people, I'm so happy to be back here with you. Let's get you some fun tarot messages. I hope all my Libras are doing well. This will be a general tarot message geared slightly more towards Libra rising, but of course, Libra sun, moon, Venus signs, anyone and everyone is welcome into this reading. I just ask you come in with an open heart, an open mind, and a desire to better yourself. If you're not feeling motivated, empowered, inspired, feel free to click off, try a different week, or the messages may just not resonate with you at the time you hear them, but they may resonate later, so be open to that as well. You're accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions, and that's about it. That's my spiel. Let's do it. Let's read your tarot cards. For my Libra squad, Libra. So Venus is transiting through Libra now, so your natural ruler, if you are Libra or Libra rising, with that, I think there's a lot of just kind of lovey-dovey energy, but also more of a focus on beauty and aesthetics, so that may resonate in terms of your physical body and getting your hair all did and your nails done and all that, or it may resonate more in terms of like artistic endeavors. Maybe you're doing something with music or painting or relationships, coupling, right? You may have love on the brain, so anyway. I see that transit being pretty nice for you, and it is also potentially going to help in your life of dating, if that is of interest to you, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But all right, cool. Yeah, so there could be. Yeah, something that you walked away from may unexpectedly come back into your life. And it may involve a Taurus who had to go away or study abroad, or there may have been a distance put between you, whether it was physical distance or emotional distance. This person seemed, I don't know, whoever's involved here, and this could be you, but it might be the other person, there's been some sort of spiritual awakening or a reawakening or a wanting to reawaken feelings and conversations that transpired between you, or yeah, to go back, and I'm kind of hearing it in the simple terms of like to see if we're really done with this. And of course, this is not a negative message by any means. You know, it's totally what you make of it and what you choose to do with it. Should this be appearing in the form of an ex, especially a Taurus or a Scorpio, it's up to you whether you take them back, right? You know, you have agency, you have authority to do what you want and as you please. If this is something you see value in, though, I do see someone coming to you with love offers or possibly flirtations. And not only that, it doesn't have to be someone from your past. I do feel like that's definitely a storyline of there was someone who you already had a tower moment with, or you may currently be going through it now, and it was, obviously, it did serve a greater purpose, even though it can be very, you know, painstaking at the time or heartbreaking. It was something about that relationship that essentially crumbled, if you will. It wasn't built on a solid enough foundation. You both weren't meeting each other halfway. There was an imbalance or an equilibrium, and, you know, scales, my Libra people, right? You guys have to meet in the middle. It has to be, you know, yin to the yang. You can be different, that's fine, but you have to come together and have sort of a mutual system of values and ideas and what you want to build the relationship out of. I'm hearing the word core, like the core values, the core beliefs. Something about that, it did break apart and crumble, but for some of you, if you would like to, it seems like some of you may have the choice or the ability to rebuild the structure properly. And I do want to emphasize the idea of something comes back from the past because Jupiter is now in retrograde in your house of sex and dating. You also have a full moon happening there at the end of the month. So culminations, completions in potentially your dating life or a dating prospect. And it may be, I'm going to use the word unfinished business. Whatever you choose to do with that, you know, and I'm emphasizing there isn't one possibility to this story. This story, while it's general, is unique to you and your experience in a relationship. So for some of you, that culmination is like, I'm going to revisit this and, oh, I'm really done with it now. I don't romanticize it anymore, put it up on a pedestal. Like, I know what I know now, and it's changed me, right? Others of you, it might be like, again, circumstances may have come into this relationship where unexpectedly something happened and pulled that person out of your life. But again, if there was a mutual sense of there's something there, but again, the timing just wasn't right, I think a lot of you may choose to revisit that. And it might be unexpected. For most of you, though, I think it would be a pleasant surprise. You never have to take back the toxic ex, and up to you, but probably shouldn't, right? If they were toxic and they did more damage than good in your life, I would reassess why you're wanting them back, right? Because more than likely it's pointing out something in yourself that needs to be healed. But I am going to keep this in a positive direction because the cards are pretty positive. You may end up walking away from, it's the remnants of what used to be that you were holding on to and protecting for so long. Something else may come into your life where it completely frees you from feeling and needing that you want, or wanting to hold on to that thing or that person or that relationship or that job, that project. It was something you've, I think, been struggling with, and the factor of enjoyment has lessened significantly over time, but it was almost like the familiarity of, it's just part of my life. So just giving you an example, it's like, well, that person broke my heart. Now I always have to live with that heartbreak, even though it could never be. Where I'm going with this is something else may come into your life that completely, you do a 180, something that you were almost defending or protective of in terms of almost like the emotional wounds. You felt like it was your duty or responsibility to hold on to it. It could be, if a loved one from your life passed away, right? It's not that it was your fault, of course, but you may have held on to some sort of guilt or shame or this uncomfortable feeling of like, I want to fix this, but I can't. Like, I've missed my opportunity. And I think part of this is saying it was never your job to make it okay emotionally. It was just for you to experience it so you could change something within and maybe find joy in detachment of it. 8 of Cups is liberation from what no longer satisfies us or seeking more. It's not about becoming too comfortable or stagnant. It's about seeking more and expanding out of that. A lot of you, there's something very unexpected with the Tower where there's just a lot more, I'll say, passion or chemistry, even if this is not romantic. Something else lights your fire, and it almost like without even thinking about it twice, this long-standing, how am I ever going to get over it? You're over it. And it really does have to do with you. It was a mindset, and the minute you change your perception of this is all that's for me, or this is the only one, and I miss my chance, or I'll never get in that job or that school or whatever, something else comes along, and this becomes like a distant memory. It served its purpose, but you don't need it anymore, and you're not clinging to it. This feels really wonderful. I hope you're interpreting it as that. You found something else that satisfies you and quenches your thirst. I don't know why this is coming through, but there's a storyline here that you may have been struggling with pregnancy for a very long time, and come to find out that something about that, I don't know if it was an argument about kids or just a struggle to conceive. This is obviously not for everyone, and I'm just going to go with it. Use your discretion. There's a message here that the reason why it wasn't taking is because this is more spiritual, but like your body physically knew you weren't going to be with that person. So it's almost like it was a domino effect of this argument or this stress, this burden added to the relationship of why can't we get pregnant. Ultimately, it was a domino effect setting you up for the fact that you and that person maybe weren't each other's long-term partners. And so again, there was just a changing of the guard or a changing of the mind where it was actually helpful to you in a sense because it allowed you to see that that relationship was actually coming into a culmination or completion. And with that, there may be a new opportunity to meet someone else or start a family with someone else. And I'm sure a lot of you aren't feeling that right now or seeing it right now in terms of the potential and the possibility that, I'm even going to say, this is sensitive, I know, but this gift of not being able to get that thing you wanted at the time you wanted it, it's going to make sense later. Wheel of Fortune. This was divinely guided. It's a blessing, even though you may be viewing it as a Tower moment. Something that was very disappointing or disturbing or felt destructive in your life, it probably was, but it's actually aligning you to your truest path or your true north, however you want to say it. All right. I heard smoke show. Yeah, there's a lot more attention being put on. I don't mean this in terms of like vanity is a bad thing, but you seem to be putting more extra time and effort into your physical appearance. And I mean, that doesn't shock me, right? Being a Libra, aesthetic is very important. So maybe you're just, I don't know, you're buying a new outfit or you're trying a new hairstyle. There's something about the way you present yourself, first house activity. You're presenting yourself in a new way and you're sort of rejecting the old way of doing something. I don't know if it's, again, like an old style or an old, I don't know, something that has been a standby for you. You don't need it anymore. And you're presenting as like a smoke show. That's what I'm hearing, you know, male or female. There's something about sizzle. There's like a really powerful, I'm hearing sexy, sexuality, sexual connection. There's a vibe to you and people are digging it. And you are going to attract someone with that. And I actually really like this person. They seem like they have their shit together. What else can I tell you? I'm trying to look for information about them. There may be a connection to a Leo in your life. It could be you meet this person through your best friend who is a Leo. It could be a Leo. I'm leaning more towards Taurus. You know, you share that maybe Venusian, you know, planet Venus. You share that in common. You're both ruled by Venus. Okay, so when you heal on the inside, it transforms you on the outside. I was going to say, there's something more to this than just like the fluff of, oh, I'm going to get my hair done. Like, that's all great and fine, but like, you're here for the real messages, right? It has to do with an internal change that manifests on the exterior, and it makes you all the more attractive without you having to do very much. You radiate some sort of new confidence because you're moving on from something that once held you back. Yeah, you're showing up as the Queen of Wands. Sexy, dynamic, fun, charismatic, you know, a leader, attracts attention, work hard, play hard, action-oriented. I'm hearing words like sly or sneaky, but I don't think it's in the negative way. I think it's like, it's non-verbal flirtation is what I'm getting. Like eyeing someone at the bar, or like you do something and it's laced with like, it's very sexual energy. I'm just going to be honest with you. There's a lot of like unspoken to it, but you don't have to say much. You're picking up on some sort of vibe with someone. And I mean, I am getting the sense that this is very likely in a dating life. In terms of romantic partnership, I'm going to be honest. You know, this isn't make or break per se, but you seem to be going through like a rough week with a person. You may have come to find out, especially if you've been in a long-term partnership for a while, that there's still a very important matter which you guys greatly disagree on, but you've never really been able to mend that gap of finding a comfortable middle ground. It's like a topic where it goes in one extreme or the other, because you guys just have very different viewpoints. I'm almost getting like the metaphor of politics, and I don't think it's that per se, but it's like, I adamantly believe this, and you adamantly believe that, and like, we love each other, but this is like a sticky point in our relationship where something about those differences, the tension is starting to really get more aggravated, and this may actually be a time where you choose to tackle the issue once and for all, and I will say it's probably going to make you uncomfortable. I think there's energy about this subject or this topic that it's very sensitive to both parties, but what other choice do you have? If you want this to be a healthy relationship, communication is key, and I almost think this has been a source of avoidance or an inevitable truth that it's like the elephant in the room, or the lynch I don't know what that word is. It's like this obvious thing, and it's gone years without discussing it. Or the attempts you've made at solving it, that your partner has been like, I don't want to talk about it. It's like this, I'd rather walk away and not deal with it, because dealing with it is it provokes a lot of uncomfortable energy and uncomfortable emotion. It could be a wound that stems from someone's childhood, and they may be very averse, avoidant. You understand what I mean? It's like, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. But the thing is, you absolutely need to talk about that. I would even offer it in a greater spiritual sense. That's why you were brought into this person's life, to help them kind of heal those wounds through nurturing and affection and being a good support system. Someone feels like they have to do something all on their own when their partner is there to help them through it, but it seems like they're not even open to discussing it. Your partner may have lost a best friend or a sibling or a child from a previous marriage, and it's left this ongoing scar. Yeah, I'm here. I just heard Jacob. I heard the name Jacob. Interesting. Yeah. There's healing. There's a chapter of healing in a long-term relationship that it just can't be pushed off anymore. It's like an inevitable thing that has to happen. If you're waiting on some sort of loan or payout or something that is owed to you, yeah, I don't know, money that is owed to you, I do think it's coming. I think your patience will be rewarded. As you know, I'm being called to say hang in there, if that makes sense to you guys. I don't think it's money that just appears out of thin air. I think this is something that's been in the works and that it may have been delayed. It may have, I'm getting the idea of like circular, like it went around but it didn't quite, I don't know. It's like it spun out and now you're trying to get it back and you will. I know that's a weird way of phrasing it. That's how I was told to phrase it. Anyway, it may have even been mailed to the wrong place, and so that's what I mean, like it has to go back. It has more traveling to do. I don't know, you guys. I know that sounds dumb, but I think you're gonna get it. Like this looks very positive to me. That shiny token, that gold coin, whatever it is. Aces are very fortunate. It's very lucky, and it may even relieve some of your financial debt or your financial burden. Some of you are going to go back to school to study something spiritual or esoteric, or even something involving physical fitness or nutrition, psychology, healing through sound. I don't know what that's called, but something more what is a good word for it? Alternative healing. Some of you don't need to feel guilt or shame about walking away from a job or an employment opportunity because it was going down in flames anyway, and you kind of sensed it. I think you got out while the going was good, or however you want to say it. Yeah, you may be in a weird transitional stage in your money or your career right now, but if you recently pulled out of a business or a job opportunity and it's like your sentimentality is getting the best of you, like, oh, maybe I didn't try enough, or I'm going to miss my work family. I wouldn't lean into the sentimentality of what used to be. I would be very future focused and future oriented. I would keep moving on the straight path or on the path forward versus looking back. It's wasted energy for you. And I never do fear-based readings. I just get the idea that a place that you already left or are about to leave, the longevity of that company or their public image or reputation is going to be put under fire, so you may be getting out at exactly the right time. Yeah, I feel like this card always comes up in my Libra readings. Five of Swords, there's like weird energy going on. I don't know if it's like shit talking or people like fixing documents or fixing numbers, or there's just an energy of kind of cattiness or people not getting along. I actually read somewhere that Libras are typically born into families or brought into a situation where there naturally arises a lot of conflict because Libras are the scales. It's like you guys are meant to balance everybody out, which is exhausting, no? When you look at your life, do you see that? Do you see that you are always finding yourself in circumstances where you have to play the pacifist or the mediator? I see that a lot in my life. I'm not a Libra, but I know a few Libras, and I'm like, oh yeah, totally. Like checks the boxes. I don't know if any of you relate to that, but I almost feel like maybe that's your temptation to stay out of loyalty to someone. But again, you may be putting your own best interest on the back burner when the universe is saying, walk away from that cloud of smoke. Like, don't get lost in the shuffle there, because it's messy, it's complicated, and it's really not your job to fix it. Move forward with strength and bravery. Again, there may be an opportunity with a Leo coming up. Or if one of your work husband, your work wife, your work bestie is a Leo, they may end up joining you at wherever you end up. I don't see that happening immediately, but it's almost like they stayed too long and get sort of, I don't mean literally, but like beat up in the process, like something about it was really taxing and took a toll on their health. So they may leave or possibly get fired or something, and then you're going to have to be, I shouldn't say you're going to have to, you may be able to assist them in helping them find a job or putting a good word in, a recommendation for them later on. Yeah, there's romance in the air. The Knight of Cups is what's coming in, but it's hidden to you right now. So this could very likely be a new connection that you're not even aware of yet. But I would say put yourself out there, because again, Venus being in your first house, without having to do much, you naturally just have the look. You got the look, like that Prince song. You're turning heads. You're drawing eyes. You're very convincing, or your words are very. I don't know why that was coming through. Are some of you writing or skills of like oration? Is that how you say it? Or the voice? I don't know if you're like doing throat chakra stuff. I don't know what to do with that. Something about your voice or your words are convincing. You sell yourself well right now. It's probably because Venus is there too, and Venus kind of have to do with like business contracts. So there's something about like. I don't know what that is. It's positive. I just don't. It's clunky to me. I'm not sure what to do with that. So. You're very perceptive right now. I see this happening a lot in different areas of your life where I don't want to say you sense danger. I think that's too harsh a word, and again, that may incite fear. That's not what I'm doing or trying to do here. You have a pulse on some energy around you right now, and there's just like this. I just see you looking at a situation or a person or a relationship that's happening in your family or with a friend, and you're just like, I don't like this. Like something about this is off, and you're right. And I almost think, almost like deer in the headlights, or you can't put your finger on it though. You intuitively sense it, and you're just like, gosh, but I don't want to say anything because what if I'm wrong, or I don't know how to fix this even though I feel like I should jump in. You should take action where you can, because you are right. Something about this is odd or off or a little bit wacky right now. It may have to do with a business contract someone is signing. Somebody may have run an idea past you just purely for your advice or guidance, or your, maybe you work in this field and someone's asking your ideas, and yeah, it's almost like your gut reaction, it's almost like you're playing the judge and you're like, I don't buy it. Show me the evidence, plead your case, and you're very just like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm literally feeling like some of you guys may even be like energy readers or tarot readers, and you have a client who comes to you and, oh, we're going to get married and we just bought a house, and are we going to start a family? And all the cards are like, this person's weird. Like there's something off. I don't know. With the Ace of Wands, this says vocalize it or take action or communicate, communicate in a high vibrational way. It's not that you have to crush this person's hopes and dreams, but you're not doing them any favors by not disclosing the truth. Or do you understand what I mean? That sometimes sharing a feeling can be very awkward, but it may actually pay off in the long run, or you may risk feeling a little bit self-conscious or embarrassed. But again, if you're working with someone who trusts you and loves you and vice versa, yeah, you should share it. 10 of Cups. You're with people or a person who there's either an established loyalty or trust, or they just really value your opinion. They would want to know if you were like, I don't think that's the one. And you do ultimately have to let go after that. It's not up to you to make the final decision here. It really is being relayed to me like a judge. So maybe some of you work in law or legal stuff. I don't know. You unfortunately may have to watch someone make their own mistakes, and that happens in life. You can only do your best. You can't fix problems for them. But yeah, if someone comes to you wanting your honest opinion, give it to them. Don't be afraid to be the truth teller. That was a very similar message in Aquarius's reading as well, so that may relate to an Aquarius. Careful of electrical fires, especially in the home. Yeah, dumb everyday shit, leaving the coffee maker on or leaving this on, or I don't know, having the heater too close to something that could result in flames. Just be very cognizant of that. And I only say that because there's like Mars and kind of tower energy sort of around that message. Yeah, honestly, I almost get like at your boyfriend's house. like an electric fire that's caused in the kitchen, or something like, it could even be something like burned toast, and like I think it's not, again, this is not to make you fearful, I'm getting this idea of like, you smell smoke, so you should investigate it. It's like, it's a fire that gets started in the kitchen. And I think you're able to get it out in time, but again, it's just making you aware of it. I don't know, you guys, I don't know. Yeah, clean out the kitchen. Clean out extra junk you don't need. You may find yourself joining some sort of new club or group or team or activity with kind of like-minded individuals. I see a lot of you doing yoga or in a yoga group. And even if you're just doing it online with YouTube tutorials, take this with a grain of salt, but like, why not leave a fun comment? You may connect with someone and it may end up forging a friendship, even if it's in an online community. It is especially something with physical activity, like a walking group, or it really could be anything. Some of you are going to win a lottery of some kind, and it might even be like a work lottery, like we're giving away tickets to see the Rolling Stones, or something like that. A lot of you are going to win some prize, or a raffle. I think that's a better way of putting it. Like a raffle that's at work or part of your community. You may win tickets to something, or something to do with like a house or a rental property. I don't know if it's like they're giving away a vacation or something, like an Airbnb certificate or something like that. Yeah, some of you guys are going to win. That's cute. Yeah, roll the dice. You should try. You should enter this competition. You have a very good chance of winning. What is this? Hold on. I think some of you are just being told to take small chances, take risks more often. Assess how big of a risk it is, and sort of looking at it from the perspective of like, what do you get to lose? Like, I almost see you as being too shy to enter, like, the work raffle, or so, oh, well, I'm not going to win, or, oh, well, someone else deserves it more than me. It's like you're being too, I don't know what it is. I think you're just being told to like live a little, have a little wild streak, especially with Venus coming through your first house, and then Mars will be in the coming like month and a half or so. There's more of a drive or an energy to just be expressive and just do it and be a little bit impulsive, right? I mean, again, you're accountable and responsible for what you choose to do with that, but I almost see a message here of you guys playing it too safe. Or just needing to liven up your life a little bit, even if it just means going to a concert with your girlfriends. Maybe that's not really in your wheelhouse of things you love to do, but you may have a great time. I wouldn't shut yourself off from social situations or any sort of opportunities where you're like, oh, well, like out of, I don't know if it's fear or a lack of confidence, or it could just be this like, oh, I don't like that. You might though, like jumping to conclusions about what you like and don't like. If you haven't tried something for a while, give it another chance. Sometimes the second time around gives you new results or new feelings, and that may even have to do with circling back around to someone who's been a friend in your life and you always kind of thought that they had a crush on you. If it's not there, it's not there, but you might change your mind. You may see something in this person or this topic, this subject, this idea, that it just didn't light your fire before. There wasn't that spark in their connection, but it may come back around where you're like, I actually really like this. Like, I didn't know how much I like this. You may join like a tennis team or chess club or book club, and it's something, it's very social, which to me is a good indicator for something Libra might enjoy, even if you were a very hermit homebody Libra. Nothing wrong with that, but all the more reason why you should encourage yourself to kind of, get that boost of confidence and try something, because I think there would be so much pleasure and enjoyment in it for you. Yeah, I see you guys going to a concert or something musical. I don't know. All right, Libra, that's what I got for you this week. Overall, really, really positive messages. I hope you got something out of this. Please remember to like the video, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And thank you for showing up here today with me. It was a pleasure reading for you. So, yeah, I hope you can take away all the good messages you can from this. I will see you soon for more tarot. Bye, guys.